that energy. But it's more like it's always going to be with self. How you treat yourself is going to reflect to what kind of treatment you take or allow from other people. Because if you're in a toxic situation, you can, even if like there's like a person who's more toxic or whatever per se, that, you know what I mean? Example, an abusive relationship, right?
Yeah.
Either physical, mental, emotional, it doesn't matter. All abuse is abuse, right? So if you're in a toxic situation, you have to know that you're toxic to yourself too for being in that situation.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's easy to be like, they're toxic. Okay, what are you still doing here?
Exactly. Because you're toxic.
Within like, yourself.
You love it, yeah. It's like
you don't have any boundaries within yourself. You don't have any discipline within yourself to know what is not for you and what is not okay, that you would remove yourself from a situation like that. Do you honor yourself? Do you respect yourself?
Yeah. And so, yeah, just for the people out there, these long distance relationships, you know, eventually they become phony relationships, literally phony, just phone. Like, you don't know nobody through the phone, really. Nah, he could be you know, and she could be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? You FaceTime with somebody, but her room's a mess. Like she might gotta work on some things. You know, you FaceTime him. You know what I'm saying? He trifling actually. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, man.
Because people will only show you what they want to show you until a certain point, right? Where you can't keep up.
People want to see what they want to see too. Yeah. It's like, yo, he's clearly trifling. Look, the shirt is unwrinkled. Look, that's the third time he got an unwrinkled shirt on. Ask questions now. That's the thing. People got to ask questions and the right questions. And you know, they ask the wrong questions. You know, they're gonna find the red flags.
It's so interesting too that you say that, because it's a level of awareness that even if you're not asking certain questions, just based on their responses, you can pick up on so many things. Because whether you know it or not, people will tell on themselves.
Oh yeah.
You have to be aware of it.
Body language, like, yeah, it's like he answered, but look how he answered.
But even how he answered, because I've had a conversation before with somebody, and it's just like, with the first conversation, I already knew it's it. Like, but somebody who's like unaware, probably like, how are you just gonna know after one conversation? It's just like, it's just because of my awareness. It has nothing to necessarily do with the other person, but it's just me knowing myself. It really has nothing to do with the other person, because I know myself well enough to be like, oh, that works for me, that doesn't work for me. I cannot speak for you because I don't know I don't know what you've been through. I don't know your experience. You know what I mean? So that's why I tell people, like, you can't tell nobody nothing, because you walked in on this much of their experience. You don't know them.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, but you know who I do know?
Yeah.
Me.
Won't tolerate.
Yeah, but some people will take offense to that, because now they think that, oh, you know them. And it's just like, no, boo. I just know myself. That's why I know, like, you probably gonna be friend zoned. Like, you know what I mean? And that's okay. And you know, and I'm a type of person, like, even after the first conversation, I will give it, 3 for the Trinity, and be like, okay, because you know what I mean? I'm human. I can make a mistake, you know what I'm saying? And I'm still open as a person. So for me, just because the relationship won't get to like maybe being like a partnership, I'm still open to building, but not everybody's okay with that too. Like, not everybody's open with that.
Yeah. I ain't with the friendships where like you don't bring nothing to the table either. Like, I noticed it. Like, nah. Like, I don't talk to my own homies I grew up with. Like, used to play ball with. Like, nah. Like, wasn't like, yo, I just noticed the imbalance here, brother. It's like, sorry, man. I see you when I see you. It's like, yeah.
Consistency is key. If anything, especially in the spiritual community, what I will say is, like, understand that everything is a tool. Yeah. Like, even sometimes other people, meaning like for example, guides, right? I consider myself a guide, right? I speak on things, I share things, but I could be like a tool for somebody, like, that you use to better yourself. But don't become the tool where like you start being used, or you become complacent about yourself, that you just following everything that somebody else is saying or doing. or anything, whether astrology, these are all again, tools, but you are the instrument. You get what I'm saying? Like, you gonna be the person who picks and choose what works for you, what doesn't work for you, how you apply things, and what you do.
Yeah.
So it's always gonna be back to you. It's sad. Y'all could be mad, but the message is always gonna be the same: self, because everything in this life is a reflection.
Yeah,
everything.
Exactly. And like in conversation, like, yo, I'm just holding the mirror up. What I'm saying, like, yo, it's like, I mean, I'm just holding the mirror up, Queen. Like, it was like, it's like get mad at me. I'm just holding the mirror up, girl. That's all I'm doing, man. But and then back to and then tied in the last, the true, rebirth of the true community. I feel like we always used to have it. It was functional. But what you think happened to it, and how do we rebuild the, true community?
Trauma happened.
Mm-hmm.
Comparison and competition happened.
Definitely.
Systematic destruction to the family happened. So the only way to fix that is with healing and being compassionate and empathetic. That's why I keep saying heart chakra, heart, tap back into the heart.
Let me ask you this. You think some people, I mean, I think it's kind of known. I don't think some people want to heal at all. They just like to live in they funkiness. They just want the funk. They want the funk. They get comfortable in the funk. They just keep it. What you think?
I agree, but it's also because of the environment and what they're seeing too.
Environment, yeah.
It's a part of that, because
they keep saying
I highly doubt that if we all just started coming together, being happy, supportive, and being there for one another, that you're gonna be in the corner. Eventually, you're gonna want to take part.
Exactly. Like, yo, yeah, get your back up off the wall. Hey, dance. Come on. Yeah.
It's like you know what I mean? Like, nobody's gonna force you at the end of the day, but part of the human experience is about connecting and building with one another. So you're only feeling that way because you're in such a place of lack that you can't see within yourself, because at that point you must be looking only outside of yourself. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I definitely believe that there are people who are not in a place of healing, but I don't think like we should give up on them, because I would never give up on myself. You know what I'm saying? But I also feel like it's because, how do you operate in something that you haven't experienced or seen in a very long time?
Yeah.
So you have, and like, especially melanated people, we like to see proof. Because you can tell them, like, you can tell somebody, like, yeah, this how they go. Like, well, let me see.
I need the receipts, brother. You keep saying this. Yeah.
So that's why I be talking about, like, y'all stay unity, y'all say community, coming together and oneness. But I'm just like, have you guys really even sat down to think, to envision, to even know what that even feels like?
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? So, because if you can't even envision it or even think to know what it feels like, how can you ever get there?
Yeah, it's sadly like, I mean, I feel like I got it just slowly based on a couple people, yourself, based on the people I know off of IG. Like, yeah, it's community there, but it's controlled community, of course, like, Big Brother. But you know what I'm saying? But but like we got to get back to that. And I feel like we do, and it's like what they say, 144,000 souls. It's gonna be, the masses.
That number is like, I believe. I don't believe that number is just like a tool. Again, I feel like, and also a way of like fear mongering too.
Oh yeah. It's just like, only 144. Like, really, niggas? Like, nah.
And they just happen to be all men. But anyway,
they on some bullshit.
But it's more like, I'm looking at the number as like, I had this conversation with like my like soul tribe that I used to have like partake in, and I was just like, that 144 is just like, I feel like that's a number that if we are like, you need at least that number of like powerful people, if you get what I'm saying. Because I just look at us like as heroes. It's fucking hot in here, bro. What What is the weather today? Give me 1 second.
It's all good.
I've been like ignoring it, but I'm just like, while I'm sitting here, I'm just like, what the fuck? Anyways,
88 hits.
So
88.
I look at us as heroes, you know what I mean? Because, you know, everything they put in the media is really a representation of us, right? Whether it's movies, all this
Superman,
stuff.
yeah, Superman is up. He ain't Clark Kent. Nah, fuck that. Ain't no white man. He don't. Nah, the melanin is
Some people, come on, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's exactly what I feel like it is. Like, as long as like if we're like all over the world, that might like no matter like, well, you know, our world, obviously, what we know as Earth. If there's like 140 who are like who powered up like enough, like I feel like we can save the whole world. Because in these movies, right, it's not everybody at one time who just
eventually
gets it.
5 years later to get 20,000, you know, yeah, exactly.
And I just feel like a small group of people who are powerful can have the same impact. That's really how I look at it. But then I also look at it as 144 is 9, and that's just completion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's more of I don't focus on the number per se, but the idea of it and what it actually means for us. Again, we need to stop taking things so like literally, because we're multi-dimensional.
Yeah.
We have to think everything in a multifaceted way. Exactly. AKA, that's why I love metaphors, AKA metaphysical. It has many properties, many different forms. Like, that's just how I see it. But yeah, it's doable. Is it gonna take time? But I just feel like we need to shift from thinking with our mind and thinking to our heart. That's all. And be more supportive, empathetic, and giving. But also because of our biggest downfall, or what's preventing us from doing that, is the stress. The stress of paying bills, the stress of you guys are so distracted with these mundane things that you can't even focus with your heart, because you're constantly thinking about, oh, I gotta pay this, or I gotta do this, or I gotta fix it. Like, how do you create time or the space to give, or to just pour, or to just be there for somebody? You don't.
Yeah, we've been pimps. You know, they you know, to pimp a butterfly, they're trying to pimp a butterfly, but nah, I'm saying we about to break out of that cocoon and become, you know, yeah.
But it's definitely doable. But we have to like be the example.
Exactly. Yeah, like people say fam, like not, but is it fam though? Like I haven't seen anything. What you're saying, like like we gotta definitely, you know, keep accountability on both sides as we express. We gotta keep accountability. You know, challenge each other, but challenge each other for the good and to build with each other. But you know what I'm saying?
Because like I love seeing things like I just feel like we need to start doing more things in the community. And it's interesting.
Yeah, community walks. We got like 5 more minutes.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this right quick. So doing things in the community, right? And I think the biggest thing has been also destructive to us is what I talked about and totally had an epiphany last Rising, was about privacy.
Yeah.
Privacy
for the ground.
gives us a false sense of security. Hear me out.
Gotcha.
Right? We've been told, you know, what's mine is mine. But I've seen a documentary before, and these were indigenous people, right? And they were nomads. And even when you think about even like tribes that are still alive, I feel like who are still like outside, not like, you know, modernized or 3D. Like everybody lives with each other. There's no secrets. Everybody knows what's up. And if we were really vibrational like we're supposed to, if we're empathetic and telepathic, we would already know how you feel for real. You would even need to tell me, because you couldn't lie to me, bro.
Like, you know, I would just know. You don't like too many people. 5 people is all he can deal with. Just look at his face. Like
but you would also know where he's coming from too. Like, you know, you would be able to be empathetic of how he's feeling, because you would be able to put yourself in his position. AKA, like, it's called like interfacing. You know what I mean? And so we have this false sense of privacy, and it's just like, you're just pulled, like, it's really just a mask. you're hiding yourself from everybody, even yourself.
N95, yeah. Take your damn mask off. COVID's over.
You didn't even need the mask. You was already wearing one. Little did you know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if we were open and honest with each other, you think we wouldn't know how we really feel? You think you wouldn't be able to put yourself in a woman's position? You think a woman wouldn't be able to put yourself in a man's position? You think us as adults wouldn't be able to put ourselves in our children's position? That's how we lack empathy. You think being private is like, or keeping it to yourself, being selfish, okay? Mm-hmm. is like beneficial to you and everybody else. But now people don't even know the real you and how to actually be helpful to you because you wear so many masks. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that is like key to us coming together. I'm like, a lot of people now, I'm like, I ask people, do you even know your neighbor's name? How is it that somebody can even kill somebody next door and you don't even know? That's a problem. Come on.
Part, man. Yeah, what happened in Buffalo? That shit ridiculous. Like, yo, nobody knew this kid. Y'all didn't know he was crazy at 5 years old? I'm talking about 5 years old. You didn't know he was crazy at 5 years old.
You know what I'm saying? And maybe we could have been more helpful to him.
Exactly,
had we known. You know what I'm saying? But because of all this privacy, a lot of things is getting like disillusioned, lost in translation. We don't even know how to communicate or what we really need.
Yeah. People dysfunctional they can't function without the phone. They don't know how to.
Privacy, where's the real division if you think about it?
Privacy. Yeah.
So yeah, let's be more open.
Yeah, man, definitely appreciate you, man. For tell your information to the people, because
I'm Castellite. That's my name on YouTube and one of my spiritual pages, but I'm also infinite_Castellite on Instagram as well.
Yeah, man, appreciate building with you, from the double
gratitude. Great build.
Definitely. Yeah, we got to do this. We got to community walks and all that. Appreciate you now.
Yeah, definitely. You have an abundant rest of your rising.
Appreciate you. Positive energy activates constant elevation. Appreciate you.
Gratitude.